Kim, when we look at other people, it's easy to think that they have it all together, and you know, somebody might look at you and think, she's got it all together, she has a great family, she's happy, she's part of the ministry, how could she understand what I'm going through? And so we just wanted to hear a little bit about your story today.
Absolutely. I think I had a fairy tale image of what my life would be. Husband, house, kids, and it all was working out that way. Married at 83, got a house, then Christina came along, our miracle baby there, and then we had 2 miscarriages. Kind of questioned, you know, what happened there? But knowing that something must have been wrong with the babies, and it's God's provision, God's providence. And then I got pregnant with Edward, and he was born in September of 1990. Big boy, 9 pounds, 12.5 ounces, 23 inches long, and everything seemed fine. And 2 months later, the Monday after Thanksgiving, I put him down for a nap. He'd been fussy all day. I heard him whimper around 3 o'clock, and just let him whimper, and he went right to sleep. And I didn't go back again until 7 to check on him. And he wasn't there anymore. He was in the bed, but his spirit was not there. He was dead. And the sight of him, I don't wish that on anybody. He was purple. He was hard, cold, and I just knew death was just there. And so I went out screaming, called 911, and the first thing, because of seeing him in that condition, the first thing I thought of is that I did something, and that I caused it, that the blankets that I had put on him, that I had suffocated him. Tried to do CPR, and in between the dispatcher telling me to breathe, do compressions, I was praying, I was saying, God, you know, you raised Lazarus in 3 days, you can raise him up. But that didn't happen. You know, the ambulance got there, we all went to the hospital. And we got to the hospital. And they did do all they could do. And the doctor came in, and we were in this really small room, and it was actually smaller. It felt smaller than what it was. And he said he's gone. That he's not with us, he's dead. There's no way to bring him back. At 25 years old, I had to experience the death of my baby. And he was just 2 months old, and there was nothing wrong with him. And I had just laid him down for a nap.
So after that time, you really went into a deep depression, and it affected every area of your life.
Yeah. After that, it was, I guess, shock. I just ended up being in this really dark, cold pit. I could not see anything else. All I could see is that I killed my baby. That's all I could see. I couldn't see the life that was around me. I couldn't see beautiful Christina. I couldn't see my wonderful husband, who was there for me always. I stayed in bed. If I had to go out, I mustered up enough energy to get out and get back home. And I actually had a hard shell over me. I was numb to feelings of the pain, but then also feelings of anything good. And I prayed to God that he would just take me. Every time I'd go to bed, that he'd just take me.
What was the turning point for you? What broke through that? Because that's not where you are today.
No. And actually talking about it, it's kind of weird because I'm not there. But yet going back, I remember those feelings. It was into the new year, we got the autopsy report of what happened with Edward. And he died of SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome is what they ruled it. And in really big, bold letters it said, did not die of suffocation. And that was the moment that I released the guilt. I knew it was not my fault. I hadn't done anything. What a relief that I didn't understand still what had happened. But at that moment, the shell, the hard shell, cracked, it disintegrated, and God's light actually shined upon my heart. My heart was bleeding profusely still from the hurt and the pain, but God's light was shining on it. And Jesus had been holding on to me the whole time, and I didn't realize that until I looked up from this pit. And I'm so glad that he didn't answer my prayers for me not to be here anymore, because I have 3 more children. We have grandchildren now. And there's so much more to life. And as I don't focus on, if I keep my focus off what I don't have, and I miss Edward every day, I miss him. But I focus on what I do have and the life that God has. It's so much beautiful. And now I wait. I wait expectantly, waiting for good things for God to bring into my life and into our lives.
That's awesome. Well, Kim has written a book called Wings to Fly, Life from Among the Ashes. And this book tells the story that she just recounted in more detail. And if you have lost someone in your life, or you know someone who's experiencing great loss, we just encourage you to order this book and read through it. And we know that God's going to touch you, and that God's going to bring hope into the situation where there looks like there can be no hope. Kim, thank you so much for sharing your story today.
You're welcome.